Hey everybody, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I'm doing a series, it's called What Makes This Singer Great? And we're gonna do Jon Bon Jovi next. Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel, that'd be really cool. Don't forget to ring that bell so I can keep videos coming your way. And I have a singing course, it's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at kentamplinvocalacademy.com. And we discuss how to get to all of these great technical places as a singer. So when we take on these great singers here, hopefully that will help make you a great singer. So with that said, I want to talk about some things that when I think of Jon Bon Jovi, what do I think of? Well, I think of he's a great singer. You know, he's a good singer. He has his own unique thing. It's not necessarily my first choice for taste. I'm more of a big round, you know, Coverdale, Paul Rodgers, Lou Gramm, Glenn Hughes, you know, big voice guy. But he definitely is a great singer. Very high range stuff too. A lot of stuff I've done. In fact, I did a whole series on Jon Bon Jovi. I'll put that in the description tag and you can look at all the songs I've done of Jon as takedowns and my approach and his approach. Let me know how I did. But I think of you know, good singing. I think of anthemic rock when I think of Jon Bon Jovi. I think of big hair, the cute factor. He's cute, you know, guy from New Jersey with his cute little accent. Sorry Jon, didn't mean it to be demeaning. But anyway, I think of the cute factor for sure. The girls, you know, and the attraction for that. Glam rock, the quintessential example of great 80s metal glam rock. So they definitely have the glam thing going on. You know, I also want to emphasize his lyric writing, not just a good songwriter from melodic structures and phrasing and, you know, pocket singing and all that, but just a really good lyricist also. So I don't just think of him in Bon Jovi, but I also think of like the movie soundtrack stuff that Jon has done. And he's just done some phenomenal things. I think of Richie Sambora. He was a great contribution to that band. So it's kind of inextricably linked in lots of ways. When I think of Led Zeppelin, I think of Robert Plant and Jimmy Page as a package. And when I think of Bon Jovi, I really think of Jon Bon Jovi. Yes, his name is on the band, but I also think a lot of contribution from Richie Sambora. So I think he should get a lot of credit because I think he didn't get some of the credit maybe he deserved for that. So very hardworking. Now, I've toured a lot, and back in the 80s and early 90s, specifically in the 80s, when Jon kind of tanked and sort of fell off the charts there for a minute, he got back out on the road, man, and he worked hard throughout Europe for a long time doing Monsters of Rock. I was fortunate enough to be on one of those festivals, but he you know, was just a very hard-working guy and took his business very seriously. So he's a good businessman. So that's great. Great music production. He always hired great people. So you know, whether it's, you know, Living on a Prayer, You Give Love a Bad Name, Bed of Roses, Wanted Dead or Alive, Keep the Faith, Lay Your Hands on Me, It's My Life, all those songs, all the production was just amazing. So I challenge you to go back and listen to how great, and the people that he hired as producers and engineers on that stuff too. So the other thing too is, you know, he had a really, I know he's having some vocal trouble now, but for a lot of years, that guy, I've seen him perform a lot of times, and he was spot on in his live performances every single time. Now, I know they ran tracks for the background stuff, but I watched pretty closely, and most all the lead vocal stuff was Jon out there out front. So it's a shame that he didn't take care of his voice, or really didn't know how to take care of it as well. There are some things he could do to correct it, but I don't know if he's up for the task of doing that. So, but I did do a montage here of Jon. Yes, these days I've become an old man and I gotta wear glasses. Sorry about that. But so let's go to Jon Bon Jovi. Oh, one more thing I want to mention about Jon is he's lately come into his own as far as being very benevolent. So Jon has gone ahead and done some you know, places for people to eat. I don't know if you know what's it called, the something house, I forget. Let me look here. I can't find Jon Bon Jovi. Here it is. Sorry, I found it right here. But he's done these community service things for restaurants and stuff, and so we see him later in life kind of giving back to, you know, this money that he made and the fame and whatnot that he's gotten, and putting back into communities and stuff. Just watch my tongue and I can't do a thing with it. Putting it back into communities and stuff, which I think is really awesome. So let's dive into Jon now. Here we go. And very live, you can hear it. See what I mean? That interpolation between him and Richie, the exchange. She knows the time and rolling. She's looking for a man. She brings home her pay for love. For love. Yes, here we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a Okay, now before we get to the chorus, so I want to emphasize for my singing friends out there, he wasn't a very technical singer. He was just had a naturally gifted high range, and he knew how to use it and use it well. And he was careful about how he did it. He, as a street singer, you learn certain things. Not everything is technical. And by the way, I don't want to keep driving the technical side because really, singing is 50% art. The artistic side of it, and then 50% side, or should be 50% side, technique. And the more technique you bring into your toolbox, the better you'll be able to create better art and bigger range and more diversity and all that variety and so forth. So, and in John's case, he's just more of a street guy, just doing what he does well, being a street singer that can sing well. And that's, but it's also kind of what's cost him his voice over time too. So. Memorable songs. That's also something I think of. Very memorable. And something else I think of is, he usually wrote a very positive lyric. Like we just talked about living on a prayer, very positive lyric. You give love a bad name. It's kind of could be positive. Wanted Dead or Alive is movie soundtrack stuff, but It's My Life or Keep the Faith, there's a great lyric in that. So I want to emphasize too, very positive guy where, it wasn't just all about sex and drugs or depression or, what happened in the grunge movement in the 90s and whatnot. Very uplifting, happy, inspiring kind of music. Again, there's Richie, you get that exchange, right? And you're waiting for the whoa, yeah! To come in after he comes in because you're expecting that, right? Looks like he's outside, like it's really cold where they are or something. Nasality, right? It's kind of funny when I see a song like this. This is just personal side note. And I think of, I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride or whatever. I think of Richie as being more of the cowboy renegade, cowboy rough, tough guy. Then I think of John. So it's kind of funny whenever I think of the song. I don't think of John being the cowboy. I think of Richie being the cowboy, but just my own little 2 cents, 3 cents. Great live band, dude. Every time I've seen these guys just always put on a great show. Very consistent. Done it for years and years and years. Too bad I can't see them getting back together. I don't learn a little bit of a riff, so I don't know if they ever will. But guys, tell me what you think. What do you think of when you think of Jon Bon Jovi? If I've missed something, put it in the comment sections so I can have more of a well-rounded thing rather than just my viewpoint on it. And don't forget, I'm trying to do most of this by request. So if you have somebody that you want to hear what makes them great and have everyone respond to that too, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on that. And stay tuned, man, because I've got another video headed your way right here.